Good morning, everyone. I know this is far from Tuesday, but I was bound and determined to get a video done this week. And Friday is the only day my schedule allowed me to do that. So we're going to get started. This card is all over Pinterest, YouTube. You've seen it. I'm thinking. Anyway, we're doing things using products that's coming out of the news catalog that was just released on Tuesday. I hope most of you got one. If you didn't, just let me know and I'll see that I have my regular people. I'll make sure that you get one. And this one runs from May to August, and it's got some really cool things of which we're going to use quite a few. Here is the card. It's actually called a double vision card, and like I say, I've watched numerous videos. It's everywhere. It's very interesting the way they do it, and I don't know how much you can tell. Maybe if I tip it sideways, you can see how it has raised and not raised sections, and it's just kind of cool. I like the way it looks, and you make a pattern. So here are the products we're using. This is a new set. This is a set of greetings and dies that I love, and this will always be a part of my stash. It's by Susan Campfield. She's $1 million seller, and this is her set. And it also comes with some phrases. It's called Phrases and Frames, and then these are the dies. Now, these dies are kind of special, and there is a technique we can do with this. I'm not showing it today, but you emboss this, and you get a kind of a raised portion on the label. And what we're using today is just this tiny little one right here in the middle, and I will actually pull that out so that we'll have it ready when it comes time to get to that, if I can get it out of my magnet here. Okay, it's going to be stubborn. It's not going to want to come out. Let me find something here that I can use to get it to pop out. There we go. So this is the stamps out of this stamp. Oh, golly, what did I use? I think I did... I think I made this into on the front we're using the Sending You Hugs and Prayers, and this is right here, and then on the inside I'm using Have a Fabulous Day right there. We're also using let's see, am I using this one? I think I changed my mind. I thought I was going to be using part of this. The paper that I'm using comes from this bundle. It's called Delicate Whispers. Here's the stamp set, of which I'm using none of those. And then here are the dies, and I don't think I used any of these either. I did use the Designer Series paper that goes with this, and unfortunately, I have used all of it. So I have nothing to show you on that. And we're also using the Standby Stylish Shapes, and we're using this larger banner label right there. For our ink, we're using one of the new ink colors. It's called Hydrangea Hydrangea Hue, and this is the new Stampin' Up! Stamping pad. Eventually all our pads will be this design. However, right now we only have the new ink colors, and the cool thing about it, especially for those members who come to my class that struggle so with opening the pads, this one is magnetic. You pull it apart, and you can either leave them together like this. They also will stay together like that. So much easier to open. I think everybody's really going to like those once we get started using them. We're going to be using some beautiful ribbon. Again, this is a Hydrangea Hue ribbon, and you'll have a little bow made with this. And this is called Bordered Ribbon, and it's very soft. Ties wonderfully to make a bow. It's very nice to make a bow. And then these are just the most darling embellishments I think Stampin' Up's ever come out with. These are all in the new ink colors, and they're little butterflies, and you have 2 different sizes. And like I say, here's the Hydrangea Hue. This is the one we'll be using, but you have the Barely Blush, Crisp Cantaloupe, Golden Glow, Peaceful Pine, and then the Hydrangea Hue. And then they also threw in some clear ones. So this is what we're using for our embellishments. To get started in your packet, you have several pieces. Let me get some of this stuff out. You will, of course, have your pretty little bow that we're going to be putting on. And I've got new lighting going on here, so I'm hoping that we're not too bad. I'm not real sure how it's all going to work out. But we'll give it a shot, and if I need to adjust, I'll figure it out before my next one. So you'll have a card base of hydrangea hue. This is our 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. I'm going to have to make sure I stay in frame on this. You'll have a piece of basic white. This is 3 3/4 by 5. That's for the inside of our card. You'll have a piece of designer series paper. This is the same from the same pack that our treatment on the front will be, and this is just for our envelope. You'll have a small piece of basic white to do our stamping and our die cutting on. You'll have a piece of copper foil to do some die cutting on. And then you'll have a little tiny flower that we're going to use on the inside. And I actually cut these off, cut these out of the designer series paper. And some of them were just bits and pieces. But you can make use of those. And so I never throw any of that kind of stuff away. And of course, you always have your envelope. And I think with that, we are ready to go. So we're going to start out. We'll do all our stamping first. There's not a whole lot of stamping, but we'll get that done first. I didn't have my foam pad, but I do have this. Maybe that'll help. Now, the one thing about these new pads is a different surface. These pads are felt pads. We have, similar to, for those of you that come to my classes, we have the black pad that we use, the Memento. And it is a felt surface, and so is this. This is what we had a long time ago. The ones we currently are using are firm foam pads. I'm having a little bit of a struggle. There's a learning curve with this. They hold the ink a lot better. We won't have to re-ink nearly as much, but there is a bit of a learning curve, and I'm not, to be honest, I haven't totally conquered it yet, but I'm working on it. So on the front, we're going to put Sending You Hugs, and the way you do this, instead of on our old pad where we just tap gently, this one seems to work best if you rub it and then you tap a little bit firmer. Now this is a very small area, but the stamp just fits, and we'll see how well I can do today. I don't like the way that one looked. And again, I just push it down, hold it down for 4 or 5 seconds. Well, that's not too bad. I am getting better at it. Hopefully you can see that. And that's our greeting for that. Now on the inside piece, I have my Stampin' Up! Platform that we're going to use. Again, this is a new product. Again, something that I'm still getting used to. Lots of new things happening and lots of changes, so it takes a little bit to get to use it. So this one, I'm taking advantage of the grid paper, and I'm putting it against the little pegs up here that hold the grid paper down. And then these are the magnets, which I love because look, they have this and you won't have to struggle to pull it up. But I do like to have a little more, whoops, better help if you want to put these magnets fairly close to what you're stamping. And I just use a sticky note to kind of hold it down, just in case I'd have to pull it up. This probably not necessary, probably overkill on my part, but that's the way I roll, so that's what I do. So then we're going to take our top lid and we're going to ink it up. And again, I'm using a little bit more pressure. We're not going to smush, but because that'll distort your image, but we are using a little bit more pressure than we would with our pads. And then I just push this down and hold it for a few seconds. And once I pull it off, if I don't like the way it looks, but that's okay, I could have re-stamped it, but I don't need to because that looks fine. Okay, that's all good. And now we're going to put this away. And let me look at the inside, Yes, I did. So another thing I did to kind of make this piece stand out a little bit is I just did the tapping routine on the edges like we've done several times in class. It just kind of just stresses or breaks up a little bit of the white. And I kind of, you know, I didn't used to do this. And then one of my classmate members, Jessica, she does it all the time. And she kind of got me started doing it. And now I do kind of like the way it looks. So it just gives you a very fine colored edge. I think maybe you can see that. To be honest with you, my lighting in here is so bad I can't really tell what you're seeing and what I'm seeing. I moved back into my office. It wasn't very convenient to stamp in my room the way I had to set up for my videos. So then what we're going to do here is we're going to take our little flower piece, and hopefully I can find what I did with it. It's not there. Okay, it'll turn up. I just don't know where I obviously laid it down somewhere, and I don't know where that somewhere is at. So, but that little flower piece that I was showing is going to go right along the edge, like you can see I did on the inside of this one. I guess I didn't even show you. I'll just put that little flower piece right along the edge there, and I will find it. It's here on this table somewhere, but who knows where. So we can put this on the inside of our card. So I don't have any. I guess we have to hope that my liquid glue is going to work, even though it's been such a long time since I've used it, because I don't have my tape runner over here. I don't know where it went. It must be in the studio. Must have them all over there. So we'll just make do with this. So we're just going to put this down in our card, and then when I find that little flower, I'll attach it after the fact. This is a smaller piece, so you have a bit of a border, bigger border than we would normally have. But I like this hydrangea hue, and I don't know how well, it probably comes off really blue on my camera, but it is kind of the bluish lavender that a hydrangea is. So I really do like it. Okay, now the other thing we're going to do is so in your, on your foil piece, we would take this banner, we'd lay it on here, we would run it through our Stampin' Cut emboss machine, and then we will have a little banner. Well, I'll tell you, I'm losing everything over here. I just had it because I was going to glue it. Okay, I may have to go cut another one. I think there's gremlins on this table. Let me go grab an, oh, actually, I have a lot of them in here. I have an extra one, so we'll just use that, and the other one will turn up. And this one I did not pop this up because we have quite a bit of dimension on this card, and I don't want to get it too fat. It's right at the borderline for thickness as for regular stamp mailing, and I don't want to get it too thick. And then we're just going to place this right on there, and we'll let this dry. Oh, there's my little flower. Just found it. See, I told you. So we'll just take this, and I have a straight edge here where part of it got cut off. It was not printed on the paper. So we'll make sure that goes right on the edge so it looks like the flower's coming out of the edge of our paper. Just like so. And that way, oh, I better move it down because there's a bottom flat edge on the leaf too. That way, there's no waste of anything in the beautiful paper. So we're done with that die. And here's the die that we use. You have this piece of basic white paper, and I didn't show this, but this is the die that we'll use, that I used to cut it out with, and that's what I stamped the Sending You Hugs on. Okay. Now, here is the fun part. You have a sheet of hydrangea hue, and what you're going to do, actually I need to run over and grab one more little piece that I forgot to bring. If you'll hold on just a second, I'll be right back. It won't take me long. Okay, you'll have a piece of hydrangea hue that's 4 by 5 1/4, and that's what we're going to be working on. You're going to have several strips of designer series paper. It was a 4 by 5 1/4 piece, and what I did is I chopped it all up into 1/2-inch strips, and it looks like this. So I'm just going to give you a quick example. I'm not going to glue anything down because we're going to work on this. I already did part of it, so this wouldn't be quite so long of a video. So the thing you want to do, the thing is, when you cut these out, you lay them in, you keep them in order. You have 8 of them, and they're all kept in order. And so you'll take your first piece like this, and you're going to glue it down on your paper, like so. And then you'll take your second piece, and you're going to lay it right next to it, but you are not gluing it down. And you'll lay it there. And then you'll take your third piece, and you're going to match your patterns here. And I've obviously turned these around a little bit. It'll match. This not matching, but it will match. And this one you're going to glue down. And you're going to glue down every other one so that you end up with a piece that looks like this, okay? Then once that is accomplished, you're going to take your remaining 4, and I've gotten them out of order, but I did write names on the, or numbers on the back of these, so, because I knew I was going to be transporting them and that I would not get them confused. So then what you're going to do is you're going to take your sheet, you're going to take your next strip, and you're going to make sure that it lines up, which this one does, and you're going to take dimensionals, and we're going to pop all 4 of these up. Now this is a good place to use the edges from these sheets of dimensionals. I always keep these, and it's a good way to use them. And so what I did is I took this, and I took my strip of dimensionals, and I laid them all down like so. This one doesn't quite go far enough, so I'm going to take the rest of this strip, move it down. You can have a little bit of space, and if you have to use dimensionals, then you can space them out a little bit. I'm trying to use up, I have several sheets of these, and I'm trying to get these all used up, so I'm not too worried about spacing anything out. So you're just going to go along here, and you're going to do this. Oops, just making sure. That's not going to work. I can't have that over. You can't have it over your strip that's glued down, so it doesn't, so you don't want anything showing. Okay, and I'll stick this here just to get it going. And we'll put the rest of this on here. This is going to take a little bit longer than our normal video, so you'll do that on all strips, okay? Then you're going to take your backing off, and a little trick is if you take your liquid glue and you take it and you put glue all along here, then you'll be able to wiggle this around a little bit, because you are going to match this pattern on this strip that you're putting on top of the dimensionals to the pattern that's glued down. And you don't overlap it. You try to keep it, match up your lines, and just try to kind of snug it in that strip that you have right there. And you'll do that all the way across. We'll do one more real quick just so you get the feel for it, and then I'll show you what it's like after it's done. Doing this glue really does help. I tried it without it, and if you get it off a little bit, you can't really move it very easily on top of these dimensionals because you know how sticky they are. So this does really help. And again, you're going to match up your patterns, keeping this even at the top. Oops. And you match up your patterns so that you have something that looks like this, and from the side you can see how it's raised. Okay, when you get all done, pardon me, here I go again with the froggy throat. When you get all done, your sheet is going to look like this, and you'll see that all the dimension is from this side. So it is a very cool technique. So once you get that done, you will take your card base, and we are going to put some glue. Now, if you have a little bit of overlap of your hydrangea hue card base, or you know what, because you can't ever cut everything perfect straight. So this is sticking out a little bit over the edge of your strips. It's no big deal because it's the same color as your card base, and so it just blends right in and you can't really even tell. And then you're going to put this right here. And get it all down, okay? Next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your little copper piece. Now you can place this wherever you want. I chose to put it down here. That way you can take full advantage of the pretty pattern that you've built. And you're not going to put any extra dimensions on here because you've got plenty going on here. So I just put a little bit of glue on each panel that was raised, and that way I didn't have to worry about getting it on my foil, because as I've told you before, with foil, if you get glue or anything on it, it just takes the shine of the foil right off. Okay, there's that. Now we're going to let that dry for just a second. We're going to real quick do our envelope, and we've done this a million times, but we'll do it again just in case I have anybody new watching. If I do have anybody new, I do appreciate your taking the time to watch. My name is, I don't think I introduced myself, most of you know me, but my name is Sherry Minnie. I am going on 15 years of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I live in Keensburg, Colorado, which is a small town about 45 minutes northeast of Denver on I-76. So I live on a farm, and Stampin' Up! And my church is my first passion, my Lord is my first passion, but my Stampin' Up! Is also a passion, and I teach classes, and I thoroughly enjoy getting together, and I've had a group of ladies that have been with me for years. So we're going to lay that down, make sure it's nice and glued down. And let's see, then we're just going to trim this off real quick. Yeah, this is going to be a little bit longer video, and I'm sorry, I knew it would be. I tried to make it as quickly as I could, but still let you see exactly how you put this card together. I'm making 16 of them, so I've been working on these kind of cards for a couple of days. It's a little more time intensive, but it's not bad. It's putting down the strips and stuff that take time, and whenever I make more than one or two, I do mass production, and I make a assembly line, and we're ready to go. All right, so now this is all dry, so we're going to take our cute little butterflies, and we're going to use the hydrangea hue, and we are going to try and find out. There it is. And I just used a teeny tiny one, and I only put one on just because I'm making so many of these and sending them out, and so you could definitely put more on your card if you wanted to. And then we have our bow that I just had. There it is. And we're going to take a glue dot, fold it up a little bit. Put it on the back of our bow. I'm probably not even on camera and I apologize. I got to get back in the swing of this, let me tell you. And I'm just going to place this right on the edge of our little foil piece. I will take our scissors. I don't want the very long tags on this. And believe it or not, that is it. We have this. It wasn't too bad once we got going, and once you get it put together, it's not bad. It's not bad at all. I'm going to clean up just a teeny bit. So here's our card that we just completed along with our envelope. And here's our sample. Once again, I want to thank you all for taking a moment to watch, whether it's in the daytime or the evening. I so appreciate each and every view. If you have any interest in this product, any of these products, you can check out my online store at SharonManny.StampinUp.net. Orders are always appreciated, and I have a blog that this card will be featured on sometime this afternoon with all the measurements and everything like that. It's called SimplyLoveStampin.com. And you can reach out to me at suaddicted@gmail.com by email if you have a question. Again, thank you so much for watching. May God bless each and every one of you. And I hope to see you again, actually next Tuesday, to get back on schedule. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.